Alright, so welcome back to the Transformations Fitness Kitchen. And today, it's actually game day, that's why I'm sporting the Bronco colors, Bronco shirt. I was actually inspired because while watching football on Sundays, usually there's commercials for Papa John's for pizza. And then actually at the end of the commercial, they always advertise that you can get like a cookie that looks like a pizza for $5 more. And so it looks really good, and I've kept looking at that and thinking I should make my own version of that. So that's what we're going to do today. Inspired by that, just in time for the holidays, you can make your own version of this cookie pizza. And so here we have plenty of ingredients that we're going to use. And the flour actually starts with a good almond flour. Almond flour, that's going to be the big base for this cookie recipe. There's several cups of almond flour that I use, as well as coconut flour. And these two flours are high in fiber, lots of healthy fats, very low in carbohydrate. So this makes it a cookie that's appropriate for just about any time of the day. So as you can see, I started to mix up some of the flours together. And then another addition that I'm going to put into this for the sweetener, so it's not loaded with extra sugar, is protein powder. So with the protein powder, I'll dump that in there. And so with the protein powder, it works out really well to sweeten up the cookie, as well as add in some healthy proteins to the mix as well. So with that, I'm going to mix up the flour. A few other things that we're going to add to the dry mix is just baking soda. And so again, I'm putting it in about half a teaspoon. It does vary depending on how much you're going to make. So actually below this recipe, below this video, you'll actually see all the numbers that I've used, so you can make your own or double the recipe. So with that, we have all the dry ingredients in one bowl, and then I'm going to put all the wet ingredients in another bowl. And the wet ingredients can vary quite a bit depending on how creative you want to be. You can add in some peanut butter, you can add in some almond butter, you can add in some type of extract. So for this recipe, I'm actually going to be adding in just vanilla extract, and then I'm not going to do any of the peanut butter or the almond butter, simply because I'm going to actually use crushed walnuts in this, so I'm going to get some healthy fats from the walnuts. And then for the oil itself, I'm going to use coconut. It's extra virgin coconut oil, and so I'm going to be using this, and this is going to get the cookie nice and moist. It's going to taste delicious with it. And also for part of the wet ingredient, I'm going to use banana, so that's going to also add another flavor. So it's going to be kind of like a chocolate banana walnut mix of flavors. And so you don't have to use coconut oil if you don't like the taste. You could actually use butter. Butter works really well, especially the Kerrygold grass-fed butter. That's a very suitable substitute, yet I would stay away from anything else other than just either butter or extra virgin coconut oil. Alright, so I had the wet mix in this bowl, I had the dry mix in that bowl. I created a little crater and simply just pouring the wet mix in the dry mix from there, just making sure that it all gets thoroughly mixed in, and then we can add in the cookie spread to the baking sheet and then start baking. Just make sure too that the oven is already preheated at about 375. So now with the mix all done, I have my cookie sheet out, and I actually use a silicone lining. So I would recommend either having one of these silicone linings or parchment paper itself. That way the cookie won't stick. And so they work very well. And so all you're going to do, instead of the hassle and the pain of just scooping out little balls and then organizing that, you could just flatten it out. So this is the cookie itself. And I mean, you could keep it in a circle so it's like a cookie pizza, or you could, make any other shape you want, keep it a rectangle. So I'm just gonna start flattening it out until I have, a pretty thin, even layer throughout. So here's what the cookie will look like when you're done assembling it. And of course, you could still make little cookies if you wanted to. Although I just prefer this because it's easier and it's just kind of cooler to cut it up pizza style. So it's ready to go in the oven, as I mentioned, about 375. It only needs to be in there about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes. So here we go. It's been about 10 minutes, and so you can see the cookie is ready. Cookie's good to go, so it just needs to cool a little bit, and then you can enjoy. Somebody just cut it up in squares or in a pizza fashion, however you like. Let me know how this goes. Let me know if you do any different type of variations. Yet, like I said, this cookie is great for any time of the day, and so it's very low in sugars and carbohydrates, very high in fiber, healthy fats and protein. So that is the Transformations Fitness cookie.